Aloha, I'm Gabriel Del Aragon, and I work with the Spooky Kind Investigations, SKI. We are a nonprofit organization that helps people with the paranormal. We basically help those who are experiencing strange things in their lives to kind of guide you to what you can do to either cope with it or to remove it from either your home or yourself. I witnessed a lot of things. I heard things, I saw things, I even felt things in my childhood. As I got older, I guess I built up my defenses and they became less severe. But I still do, on many occasions, still hear a lot of voices that aren't there. I also do see shadow people and other kinds of movements from the corner of my eye. Yeah. As we were touring the house, I had my camera on me and I was filming the whole time. And as we got to the room where the children sleep, the mom had asked her son to kind of explain what was going on, but she hadn't seen her son leave earlier to go play with some neighborhood kids, so he had actually ran out of the house. While I was filming, I explained to her that he took off with some friends, and we continued our tour. When the tour was finished and I looked at the video and analyzed the footage, I witnessed the voice come through when she asked, you know, maybe my son can tell you some stories. And I said, I think he went out to go play, and this young voice came out. This sounded like a boy saying, I see, and he said the name of the child. We set up our cameras and equipment, and as I was in the house and waiting to begin our investigation, I noticed that there was movement from the side of my eye, and when I looked towards the ceiling, I witnessed this, what looked like this shadow, kind of basically looking like a monkey swinging on the ceiling, and it ducked into, it just so happened to be the children's room. And one of the investigators says, why, what did you see? And I said, I saw this shadow just dart into the room over there. And at that time it says, oh, we already have an investigator inside the room. So I said, okay, I'll go check him out, see if it's okay. So I walked down the hall, I looked into the room, and she was sitting on the floor and her eyes were kind of big. And I asked if she was okay. And she responded with, oh, the curtains beside me were kind of like fluttering. So the wind was kind of making me a little jumpy, and I told her that the house was sealed. It was an air-conditioned house. So there was no way that the curtain could be vibrating from the wind because the windows were all closed. So I grabbed the audio recorder off of the stand that was next to the door to play it back, to listen to it, see if we caught anything. And on playback, I can hear myself coming into the room and asking her, hey, are you okay? And that boy that I picked up earlier from the video had answered, she's fine. So that was something that it's kind of trippy. Yeah, there's stories, and you know, with our culture, a lot of times we just don't say anything because it's a normal part of our life here in Hawaii. You know, just a very powerful place. Everybody has mana. So if you experience something in the paranormal, stop, think about it. Is it air pushing a door closed? You know, is it a cat or something that may have knocked over something that just left the room earlier? You really have to think of it logically first. And if everything else fails, you know, do what you do. If you have faith, pray. If you feel that it is aggressive towards you, maybe call a kahu so they can peek eye the place, or even ask a friend that is religious to come and say a prayer with you. It doesn't hurt. So one of the spooky spots that we like to frequent is up Nu'uanu. Every night we go out there, we have a lot of action. And one particular night, I brought my sister along with me, and we were standing in this circle, and one of the gentlemen that had invited us for the night was telling us a story. And so I'm kind of listening to the story, I'm just using my ears, I'm looking towards the ground, and I hear my buddy next to me, one of the investigators, kind of make a noise, and I turned to look at him, and when I did, I noticed his eyes were kind of round, and he says, whoa. And when he made that comment, at that moment, my sister, who was standing across from me from the group, she screamed. She lets out this yelp, and she comes running over to me, and she comes and grabs me, and I ask her, say, hey, what's going on? So she explained to me while we were listening to the story that she felt like there was a bug buzzing around behind her head, like hitting her in the hair. So she was trying to flick it to get it off. And at one point, she felt this grab on top of her ponytail and a yank, and her head went back. And that's when she screamed and came running forward, and she grabbed me. So I looked at, you know, the other investigator that was with me. I tapped him and says, hey, what did you experience? And he tells me, We were listening to the story, and I was looking toward your sister, and I witnessed this really tall shadow appear behind her, and that's when she screamed. I personally can't explain exactly what happened on the trail with my sister. There's all these old tales of giants and hulu hulu men and all these different kind of spirits that frequent up in the Pali, and it's just all these things come rushing, and it's just like, really what it is, it's paranormal.